Hello chess friends, and welcome to Azarov's chess channel, and welcome to my hyper accelerated Dragon Sicilian defense series. So in my previous video I showed you these common mistakes which white can make in the opening, and how you can punish him in an early stage of the game, and I think it's a really important video for you to see to get a better understanding of this video. So I will of course show you the link of my previous video at the end of this video, and you can connect them two together and get a better perspective of this very nice aggressive opening for black. So today I'll show you well, this opening line when white plays the move order correctly, so he doesn't make mistakes in the opening. But of course our main goal in this opening line is to avoid this Yugoslav attack, and of course we can do that as I promised you. Of course we can do this in this hyper accelerated Dragon Sicilian defense. So let's see how we can avoid it when white plays the move order correctly and he doesn't make mistakes in the opening. So we have here e4, now c5. Of course we're playing this hyper accelerated dragon after knight on f3 with g6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes on d4, bishop to g7, knight on c3, knight on c6. I've already explained this move order in my previous videos. As said, bishop to e3, knight on f6, and the correct move now for white is first to play the move bishop to c4. You see, if we now immediately take here this pawn on e4, white has bishop takes on f7. Of course then we cannot castle anymore, so it's really a problem. So of course black has to castle first, and now with this threat, of course, to take knight on e4, white will play bishop to b3. Now we don't have this idea to take on e4. This idea was present when white played here this move queen to d2, which I've also shown you in my previous video. So now of course you see, well, white's idea is of course to play the move f3, queen to d2, queenside castle, and play this Yugoslav attack again, of course with the ideas to play h4, h5, g4, and similar ideas. And of course I'm pointing again out, we haven't played this move d6, which is common in this regular Dragon Sicilian defense. So we get use of this 1+ tempo, as I love to say. So we didn't play this move d6, we want to play the move d5, and this is the most aggressive line in this hyper accelerated Dragon Sicilian defense. But of course it has to be a little bit prepared. So first of all I want you to memorize this move a5. So of course we create here already an attack on the queen side, and of course if white castles queenside, we have already here attacking possibilities on a4. So of course now our threat here is to play immediately the move a4. Of course if the knight or the bishop takes the pawn on a4, then we can simply take the pawn on e4 and deflect one defender here of this. If let's see the continuation, if maybe queen to d2 comes, then we have a4, and now if the bishop takes here, you see we can then play knight takes on e4, which deflects of course this knight from the defense of the bishop on a4. So if knight takes on e4, we have here rook takes on a4, and it's a very nice game from there on. We have the bishop pair, we have an open position, we have the center here with these two pawns. So of course it's a very nice line. So after bishop to b3 and a5, white will probably then play the move f3 in order to prevent you to play here knight on e4. So of course now we get use of this 1+ tempo that I've already told you. Now you simply can play the move d5, and we are gonna analyze today. I will show you another continuation. We have here the possibilities if white takes here with the bishop, of course with the knight, and if he takes of course with the pawn. So today we'll analyze the situation here after e takes d5. Now you have this attack here on this d5 pawn. You see we have now attacked this pawn 3 times with their 2 knights and the queen. So of course white needs another protector, because he has protected it only twice with the bishop and the knight. So he will play here this move knight on e2. Of course we cannot take the pawn, but now we get the similar idea to deflect one defender of this protection on the d5 pawn. We have here again this move a4, and here after knight takes on a4 we have knight takes on d5. And I've already talked about here this evaluation of pawns, how this central pawn is more important than this pawn on the side of the board that white took. And I will show you also this link to the link to that video at the end of this video, so you can see more about this evaluation of pawns. So, and we have here now the position. We have attacked the bishop. We have also here an active knight on b4. We have opened the a file. We have a nice bishop on a nice diagonal. This bishop on c8, although it didn't play, but of course it can go on f5. We have now a really active position. We have king safety, of course, here, and this is really a nice position, although we are a pawn down, but we have really a nice active position. So in order to get rid of this bishop, of course, white will probably take while white will probably challenge the bishop here on g7, and after bishop takes on d4 we have here queen to d4. And here's now the continuation from a game that I wanted to show you. It was played between Hans-Rudi Glauser and Lars Carlsen. Lars Carlsen, a Swedish grandmaster, and now he shows really nice aggressive play against the setup. So of course you see white has sort of troubles here. He has here sort of a weak pawn on f2, and let's imagine now, of course, here the position. If he castles the king side, that doesn't bring him so much, because then we can play maybe f5. Also ideas here to play the move e5 with ideas rook to e8, and so we have an aggressive play. So here after bishop on f5, which is the correct move, white castle here queenside, and of course he is now protecting this pawn on f2 with his king. But now black gets really aggressive here, and he played the move e5. Of course the queen cannot take the pawn on e5. Then we have this continuation rook on e8. You see we have here this attack on this knight, which is very weak here on this e2 square. And in the continuation maybe we have here rook takes on d5, knight takes on d5, queen takes on d5, queen takes on d5, bishop takes on d5. But you see, of course, in this line, black is really better. So after e5, Glauser played here queen to d2 again, and now we have a really nice tactical shot. Rook takes on a4. So you see we were sort of pinned here, and now after bishop takes on a4, now the queen gets really nice into the game with queen to a5, also attacking the bishop. Of course we have here bishop on b3, and now we have very nice rook on c8, attacking here this very weak f2 pawn. And you see this pawn on e5 controls here these two squares. Of course white would love here to jump with the knight on e4 and get another defender here on f2. So we have here a3 by white, and now Carlsen finds a really nice tactical shot. Here we have bishop takes on c2, pardon me. We have here bishop takes on d5, and now knight on d3 with check. Of course you see of course white cannot take the bishop here, so of course he doesn't have any squares, and now white has to take here the knight on d3. After bishop to d3, it's a completely winning game for black. So I hope you enjoyed this line, because I really want you to memorize it, because it's an important line if you like to play this hyper accelerated dragon Sicilian defense. So in this continuation, after here e takes d5, first this move knight on b4, we have knight on e2. Then you see this sort of deflection here. We want to get one of these defenders away from this d5 pawn. So after knight takes on a4, of course here we take the central pawn, which is more important, as I said. Here we have bishop to d4, and after trade of bishops, queen takes on d4, development of the bishop with an attack on f2. If your opponent castles, here this aggressive move you have to memorize, here this e5. So I hope you enjoy this line. You see it's very aggressive. I really love to play this hyper accelerated dragon Sicilian defense, and of course, as I said, in order to get a better understanding of this line, watch also my previous video of this hyper accelerated dragon Sicilian defense, and you can also watch my basics in chess series video from this evaluation of pawns. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks you for watching, guys. Chess is the best.